What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here. Let's go over all the NFL action for Week 18. A lot of win or go home scenarios. A lot of teams already at home, booked their tickets to go on their vacations for the offseason, and some have a chance to extend their season. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Steelers beat the Ravens 17-7. Absolutely an ugly snore fest of a game. Mason Rudolph got it done and clinched the game when he hit Deontay Johnson for a 71-yard TD and go up 14-10 late in the game. Man, he should have done that for my fantasy team earlier in the year. I needed that. Timely pass to get the win for the Steelers. Wild stat. This is Mike Tomlin's 10th season of winning at least 10 or more games in the season. That is unbelievable. What's even more unbelievable, he's never won Coach of the Year. What? This guy has not had a losing season his entire career as a head coach. Unbelievable. Texans beat the Colts 23-19. Win or go home scenario for both teams. And the Colts end the season on a red zone 4th and 1 attempt and a drop by Tyler Goodson. You can't get a guy out there like this. I understand you're trying to be a little tricky and everything here, but man, if I was the coach, I had my season on the line. I'm not throwing the ball to a player that's only had 13 rush attempts all season and 6 catches. Just saying, you got to put your best players out on the field for those type of plays. Bad choice in my opinion, but Colts are out of here. See you guys. No playoffs, end of season. That's how it ends for you. Titans beat the Jaguars 28-20. Jaguars needed to get a win to win the division or go home after the Texans won on Saturday. Pressure is on the Jags. Well, that's it for the Jaguars season, and it seems like they're not able to find their way after Trevor Lawrence's injury early on in the season. They lost the last 5 of the last 6 games and never could figure it out. Absolute second half collapse by the Jaguars, and a little bit of a revenge game on the Titans from last year's end of the year game too. Jaguars beat them to be able to get in the playoffs. A little bit of a revenge game all around for them. Big game, big win. Lions beat the Vikings 30-20, albeit with some injuries going into the playoffs. Sam Laporta went down with the knee injury. Also, Khalif Raymond with the same injury. Bad timing for the Lions, setting up Matthew Stafford coming back into town for a playoff game and to possibly spoil the Lions season. Yikes. Going to be a fun game to watch. Rams, Lions. That's going to be a great one. You know Matt Stafford's got a little bit of confliction on this game, but you know, he's not a Lion anymore. He's a Ram. So here we go. Saints beat the Falcons 48-17. Absolute beatdown of a game. In a game where both teams needed to win to have a chance for the playoffs or the division, head coach Arthur Smith lost it with the late touchdown in victory formation by the Saints. Jameis Winston said the players on the field decided to go for a TD when they were in victory formation, and it wasn't Dennis Allen's decision. Regardless, Arthur Smith blew up on Dennis Allen, and it almost seemed like his mustache was going to fly off his face. That's how mad he was. But Arthur Blank turned up the heat and fired Arthur Smith. See ya, buddy. It seemed like the right move with an offensive genius that struggled hard on having an offense that works. On to the next head coach for the Falcons. Let's see where they go from here. Jets beat the Patriots 17-3. In a winter wonderland game, the Jets beat the Patriots for the first time in 15 games between each other. Wow, that's just about 8 years of games against the Patriots. That's an insane wild stat. If the Jets could get a healthy Aaron Rodgers next year with this defense, watch out. Wild game. What's wild about this game too, it seemed like both teams did not care to even win. They kind of want to be able to have a good solid draft picked out of this one. So it kind of seemed like either team was like, I don't really care if we win. How about we just tie? Maybe that works. I don't know. Buccaneers beat the Panthers 9-0. End that terrible season for the Panthers. Absolute snore fest of a game, especially when it was a game where the division is on the line for the Buccaneers. You would think they would try to come with a better game, but it was a very ugly game. And it doesn't really matter who wins the NFC South because they're going to get smoked next week in the playoffs. Book it, Dano. Also, GM Scott Filterer for the Panthers got the boot. So a new head coach and GM is in the works under David Tepper for the Panthers. Tough job for anyone to take that job, in my opinion. Yikes. Panthers are a mess. Bengals beat the Browns 31-14. For both teams, this game didn't mean much. Bengals were out. Browns got the 5th seed locked up. No Joe Flacco for the Browns. Lots of backups in the game for the Browns. but that didn't stop the Bengals to lay the smack down. Shout out to Zach Taylor for keeping this team together. You know, after Joe Burrow went down, you know what? They figured it out. They kept him going. They ended up having a winning season either which way. He's learned a lot since the last time that Joe Burrow went down for a season-ending injury and had just an absolute collapse of a team. So shout out to Zach Taylor, man. Packers beat the Bears 17-9. Packers lock up the 7th seed into the playoffs with this win. Jordan Love balled out and went 27-32 for 316 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now they get to play the Cowboys in the wild card game. I think this game could be a great one to watch, in my opinion. Shout out to the Packers finding a way to get to the playoffs after starting 3-5 on the season. Unreal. Cowboys beat the Commanders 38-10, the team that the Packers will be playing next week. Interesting. Cowboys lock up the NFC East with the win and get the 2 seed. Now the real question is, how many Cowboys fans will break TVs if they lose to the Packers in the wild card game? What's wild is the Cowboys' record in the playoffs for the last 25 years is 4-10. They have broke so many TVs for decades now. Also, Ron Rivera got the boot as head coach for the Commanders, and they will be looking for a new commander this offseason. Or maybe they'll just change their name back to the Redskins. I think they should. Raiders beat the Broncos 27-14. Irrelevant game for the playoffs. Nothing much to play for here but draft seeding. But for me, every Raider game is irrelevant anyhow. Family, trust, respect. See you later, guys. Take a hike. Giants beat the Eagles 27-10. Shocker of a win, but it seems like the Eagles are on a bad path right now. Eagles have now lost the last 5 of 6 games and have lost the NFC East with this massive slide going into the playoffs. They are in luck because they get to play the Buccaneers in the wild card round next week. But this team's got to get right somehow, or maybe that Super Bowl slump has really struck again. Man, oh man. We'll see where this goes, guys, but I expect the Eagles to get back on track against the Buccaneers. Seahawks beat the Cardinals 21-20. Seahawks had a shot to get in the playoffs, but got bumped out with the Packers winning today. They almost even lost this one with a game-winning field goal attempt by Matt Prater for the Cardinals late in the fourth, few seconds left, but it curved right to miss it. Cardinals almost did a solid for the Chargers to help with the draft pick position. They hit that field goal, but the Cardinals decided to stay in the 4th spot for the NFL draft. Oh, by the way, Kyler Murray drip check here. He looks like he's some sort of professor trying to teach me calculus or something, man. I don't know what is going on with this outfit, but man, he's always got the weirdest looking outfits here, man. What's going on? Rams beat the Niners 21-20. Irrelevant game for both sides. Niners have the 1 seed locked up. The Rams have the 6 seed locked up before the game, so nothing much to play for. Big stat in this game is Puka Nacua broke a 63-year-old record for wide receiver yards in a rookie season and also catches in a season. So he had 105 catches, 1,486 yards in his first season. That is an absolutely incredible season. And now the Rams play the Lions in the wild card round. Wow, fun times ahead. Chiefs beat the Chargers 13-12. Absolute snorefest of a game. And to be honest, seems that way with the Chargers for the past 2 games, in my opinion. Wild stat, Cameron Dicker has hit 12 of 13 field goals in the last 3 games. Great stat for a kicker like Cameron Dicker, but you shouldn't have that many field goals in 3 games and have to get touchdowns, which the Chargers have only scored 1 in the last 3 games. It's been bad for this team, and we really missed Herbert big time. I'm glad the season's over with. Excited for the new head coaching search for the Chargers. At this point, the Spanos can't screw this up when they have a great opportunity to get Jim Harbaugh. Please get that right, Spanos family. Do it for all our fans, our hearts, and please don't crush our hearts. Please get it right, please. Bills beat the Dolphins 21-14 in a last game of the season. The Bills lock up the 2 seed to play the Steelers and bump the Dolphins to the 6 seed to play the Chiefs. Not too confident in the Chiefs or the Steelers, so either way, both teams could be favored for their games. The big thing for the Dolphins is Tua has got to stop with the turnovers. Tua has now thrown 3 touchdowns and 5 total turnovers in the last 2 games. Got to play a cleaner game or it's going to be a one and done again for the Dolphins. That's our recap of the regular season 2023 NFL season. Playoffs are about to happen. Wild card weekend this weekend, and it is absolutely a wrap for the Chargers season. So for us and our recaps, we'll see you in 2024. Bolt up. Let's go.